Sources told the Post that Jones sent a message to one of the betting ring members on February 9, 2023, urging him to place a large bet on the Lakers' opponent, the Milwaukee Bucks, because James would be out with an injury.
Great father, great husband, great philanthropist, great businessman, great director, great producer, great host, great basketball player, great leader. I mean, my God, I have done everything but put diapers and a bib on this brother. But it ain't enough, because one thing matters to him and one thing only, and that's him being recognized as the greatest of all times. Well, you're not, in my book.
But we begin with a story that has dominated the headlines. The FBI announced on Thursday that two major operations, one involving the sharing of insider information for betting on NBA games, and the other centering on rigged poker games using high-tech cheating devices, have led to the arrest of more than 30 suspects. Some involved.
LeBron James has just been arrested and the whole country's losing it. FBI agents stormed his luxury homes in both Los Angeles and Ohio. And this time, it's not about basketball. It's about something way darker. The case, now dominating every headline out there, has an official name: Operation Nothing But Bet. What started as a low-key probe into shady insider betting in the league has exploded into one of the most jaw-dropping scandals to ever hit the NBA's top ranks. For months, agents have been following a paper trail of secret payments, hidden chats, and leaked medical files, all leading back to one man who was supposed to be untouchable.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this.
The first bomb dropped when LeBron's longtime friend and ex-teammate Damon Jones got hit with an indictment. According to court files unsealed earlier this spring, Jones was allegedly caught selling inside info about player injuries right before key Lakers games, including the big February 9th, 2023 showdown with the Milwaukee Bucks and another against the Oklahoma City Thunder in January 2024. In one text the prosecutors released, Jones told a contact to get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight before the info is out. And guess what? Just hours later, LeBron mysteriously sat out with an ankle issue, and the Bucks rolled straight to victory. Wild, right? It looked like Jones was the main culprit until things got a whole lot messier. Soon the FBI turned up the heat and started closing in on LeBron's own circle. Sources close to the case say agents didn't stop at grilling Jones. They moved in hard on LeBron's inner team, seizing phones, computers, and stacks of financial records from his LA mansion and his massive Ohio estate. According to insiders, those warrants even mentioned possible links between Jones's gambling network and a prominent player's financial operations. That player, of course, being LeBron James himself.
The first indictment involves 6 defendants. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
Officials haven't filed charges yet, but the fact that his homes were raided has everyone buzzing that he might be more than just a witness. The FBI's official word is that LeBron's cooperating fully, but behind the scenes, insiders are whispering a totally different story. They say investigators are now digging into encrypted messages and offshore transfers tied to people who used to roll with LeBron's entourage. One source even told reporters that LeBron's name pops up multiple times in those confidential FBI memos. This thing just keeps getting crazier. The whispers around the league are turning into a storm. Word is LeBron James might actually be named as a key defendant in the next wave of federal filings, and that rumor has every NBA exec sweating. Though the official documents remain sealed, insiders are leaking enough to paint a picture that's wild, messy, and straight up unbelievable. Sources say LeBron's former friend Damon Jones had been spiraling in the months before his arrest. Living large like money was falling from the sky. Witnesses at the ARA resort in Las Vegas claimed they saw him camped out in the high-limit room, puffing on $200 cigars, surrounded by stacks of chips, and dropping LeBron's name every chance he got. Professional gambler Michael Osborne even told investigators that Jones was out there flexing LeBron's name like a VIP pass, bragging he could tap team trainers and get early scoop on player injuries. But beneath all that flashy talk was desperation. Jones was reportedly begging other gamblers for quick loans just to stay in the game.
We do have more breaking news this morning. 2 big names in the NBA among more than 30 people arrested in connection with federal investigation into sports betting and illegal gambling.
Imagine that, name-dropping LeBron to score bets while begging for cash on the side. And that's where the whole investigation starts twisting into something deeper. The NBA has been standing firm, saying LeBron had no clue what Jones was doing. League insiders told The Athletic that LeBron's connection with Jones was strictly personal, nothing to do with business or betting. But the feds clearly saw things differently because once the FBI expanded their search, everything changed. According to federal filings, agents shifted their focus from Jones's side hustles to the actual communication between Jones and LeBron. And that's when one agent reportedly confirmed that a new name popped up on the warrant, LeBron James. That single line sent shockwaves through both fans and analysts everywhere. The big question everyone's asking is, why would the FBI raid LeBron's homes if he was just a witness? Those search warrants reportedly mention coordination of privileged information, which is legal talk usually aimed at co-conspirators, not bystanders. So even though no evidence yet proves LeBron personally placed any bets, the timing of his money moves, travel logs, and private jet flights have raised major eyebrows in federal circles.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi.
And here's where the timeline gets almost too crazy to ignore. The February 9th, 2023 Bucks game, the same one Damon Jones tipped about, wasn't just any night. It came right after LeBron made history by breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. 2 days later, he skipped the next game claiming ankle soreness. But according to court papers, that exact game was the one Jones used to cash in with his betting tip. When the feds tied the text message to that date, it looked way too coordinated, whether it was intentional or not. Fast forward to January 2024, Jones allegedly did it again, this time selling fresh insider info before the Thunder game and pocketing $2,500 through a mobile payment. And once again, his golden ticket to credibility was his connection to LeBron James. All of this is hitting. While the NBA is dealing with a full-blown integrity crisis, multiple league names have already been charged under Operation Nothing But Bet, including Portland's coach Chauncey Billups and Miami's Terry Rozier. But somehow all eyes have locked on LeBron. When footage surfaced of FBI vehicles parked outside his Brentwood mansion, social media exploded. Some fans swore it had to be a mix-up, just fallout from Jones's mess. But others, including sports attorneys, pointed out the obvious. The FBI doesn't raid the home of a witness unless they suspect something deeper. LeBron's legal team hasn't said much since the chaos hit. Just one short statement from his rep claiming they're fully cooperating. But silence can speak louder than words. And right now, that silence has everyone wondering what's really going on behind those mansion gates.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
That phrase, fully cooperating, might sound innocent, but in legal circles, it usually means negotiation, not exoneration. A source close to the case revealed that agents seized several devices, including encrypted tablets believed to belong to team insiders. The FBI hasn't released what they found, but leaks hint that those tablets may hold scheduling notes, travel logs, and private messages dating all the way back to late 2022, the exact period when Damon Jones started shadowing the Lakers like a ghost. From there, things take a wild twist. The story starts blending rumor with revelation. Multiple insiders claim that the gambling probe was just the first layer of something much bigger. Behind closed doors, prosecutors allegedly began cross-referencing text patterns and transaction timelines between Jones and a second circle of big names.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, "You don't do a freak off, I'm going to release one of the freak off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate."
Entertainment figures already flagged in another federal case. That's when investigators reportedly turned their attention to LeBron's broader circle, including business friends and Hollywood collaborators far beyond the court. When legal analysts were asked why the FBI would reopen those links, one expert dropped a major clue. Operation Nothing But Bet isn't just about gambling anymore. It's about money laundering across multiple industries.
that he has with others. And just because no one else has been charged, which normally in a RICO case, you would have others charged. It was a statute that designed to get mob bosses, trying to get at criminal behavior that's like a web of criminal behavior that you can't necessarily prove like the one thing or the statute of limitations expired on the other thing, but you're just showing this bad guy who's operating what's clearly an enterprise that over and over engages in criminal problems or criminal acts.
The line between sports and entertainment is thin, and the feds know it. Sponsorship deals, charity foundations, event promotions, they all mix fame and finance. And that's exactly where questionable money can hide in plain sight. If any of those accounts cross paths with Damon Jones or his associates, the fallout could be explosive. Meanwhile, LeBron's been trying hard to keep up appearances. Just weeks before the raids, he was spotted courtside in LA, rocking a bright floral cardigan, laughing and cheering for his team like nothing was wrong. But insiders say behind closed doors, he's not that calm. Friends describe him as under serious pressure, cutting off interviews, canceling appearances, and even tightening his travel schedule. Sources from within the Lakers organization say they're holding back any public statements until they know exactly how deep this goes. For now, they're just watching, stunned, as one of basketball's biggest icons finds himself dead center in a federal hurricane. But get this, the investigation's next move wasn't about bets or bank transfers. It turned towards something even darker. Agents started digging into LeBron's private connections and found a shocking name, Sean Diddy Combs. That's right. When the FBI began searching LeBron's properties, they weren't just tracing gambling money, they were mapping social connections, and that digital trail led straight to Diddy. What looked like a follow-up on betting records suddenly spiraled into the murky world of celebrity finance, luxury events, and private guest lists. Diddy, who's now serving more than 4 years in prison for charges tied to illicit activities and transportation for immoral purposes, has already seen his empire crumble.
So maybe the judge is going to give him more than time served.
But we should say that the maximum he could get is 20 years.
And that's what I want to get into for a minute, because this is some racist you-know-what, this man act.
But now somehow, LeBron's name is being whispered in the same breath. Almost overnight, the internet resurrected an old Instagram Live video. LeBron laughing beside Diddy, grinning ear to ear and saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party."
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
It was harmless fun back then, just two stars joking around. But in this new light, fans turned it into evidence. Social media detectives slowed the clip, analyzed every smirk and side glance, and asked the question everyone's thinking. Was that line just a joke or a window into something deeper?
Known that I've talked for a while, a lot of people are buzzing that Diddy's former BFFs are real quiet.
And they have been.
And people were wondering why and who's the next to fall. And then Jay-Z comes out, and then LeBron James says, "I'm stepping away for excused personal reasons." And people are going, oh, what is going on?
Some claimed it showed familiarity with Diddy's private scene. Others said it was pure coincidence. But either way, the court of public opinion has already made up its mind. And for LeBron, that might be the most dangerous trial of all. LeBron James hasn't been accused of any intimate or criminal acts. Not yet, anyway. But insiders are saying his name has popped up in some very uncomfortable conversations. Apparently, federal witnesses mentioned him while discussing who attended rapper Diddy's now infamous freak-off gatherings. Those private, invite-only parties once rumored to be all luxury and entertainment, but now described in court as centers of manipulation and exploitation inside Diddy's empire. LeBron's legal team is staying completely silent, refusing to comment on any of it. The Lakers have declined every single media request for clarification, and that quietness isn't helping. If anything, it's making things hotter, because the same week the Fed seized items from LeBron's homes, prosecutors made a major announcement. Operation Nothing But Bet was expanding. Sources say financial records from the entertainment world are now being merged with those from Diddy's business network. Inside reports mention cross-reference ledgers, suggesting investigators think some of the same money handlers who moved Damon Jones' gambling cash might have also processed payments for Diddy's private events. That's when officials reportedly realized something huge. The money and the guest list might overlap. Behind the scenes, Hollywood is in panic mode. Publicists are working overtime, and brand teams are quietly checking their contracts for morality clauses.
For them when they win, I criticize them when they're messing up. in an effort to make sure that you don't do it again. I'm not wishing anybody to fail, but I have to call it how I see it, because I have an audience to answer to. These players, I don't get paid to talk to.
Two major sponsors have already hit pause on campaigns featuring LeBron until the investigation clears up. Within NBA circles, the tone has changed completely. It's no longer just about whether LeBron knew about Damon Jones's betting. Now the question is, did he know about Diddy's parties and what really went down there? Even a hint of being linked to that scandal has executives losing sleep, and the whispers just keep getting louder. A former event promoter who once worked on high-profile parties claims LeBron's name appeared on guest coordination messages as far back as 2018. Those alleged communications haven't gone public, but the claim alone has social media detectives in overdrive. Another insider says when the FBI analyzed phones seized from Diddy's security staff, they found contact logs referencing famous athletes, possibly including LeBron. None of this has been officially confirmed, but it's all become online fuel for amateur investigators connecting dots across old posts, photos, and party footage. Twitter threads, Reddit boards, TikTok breakdowns, everyone's playing detective, and LeBron's face keeps popping up. Sources familiar with the federal raid say several messages recovered from devices at LeBron's mansion are now being reviewed. Apparently, they reference a string of private events in Los Angeles and Miami involving names tied to Diddy's management team. Whether those were friendly chats, sponsorship deals, or something a lot more sensitive, no one knows yet. But in the tense atmosphere surrounding Operation Nothing But Bet, even a little ambiguity feels like guilt. People close to LeBron describe him as loyal to the bone. They say he's the type of man who never abandons the folks who had his back when he was just a kid grinding in Akron. That loyalty built his tight-knit inner circle. The same crew that's followed him from Cleveland to Miami to LA. They share investments, history, and deep personal trust.
Let's talk about LeBron James, the Lakers head coach, saying he is out for personal reasons. It's an excused absence. However, social media trying to connect it to a resurfaced clip where James joined Diddy Combs on a live stream and said, quote, "Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party." I think that went viral. I remember when he...
But now, investigators believe that very loyalty might be his downfall. Several ex-Lakers staffers have quietly told reporters that LeBron's insistence on keeping his people close sometimes clashed with team policy. Some of those old friends, who didn't even have official roles, were seen hanging around practice sessions or traveling with the team like VIP guests. That kind of access blurred the lines between personal friendship and professional boundaries.
Time now for some of the biggest trending stories you'll want to know today. Sports legend. People call him the GOAT. LeBron James taking an excused absence from the basketball season. This, as resurfaced video, is being examined in a new...
Sources close to former Lakers personnel said it became a pattern. Whenever management questioned why certain people were in restricted areas, the answer was simple. If LeBron wanted them there, they stayed. That loyalty once made him look grounded and self-made. But now it might be the very thing dragging his legacy into dangerous territory. As Operation Nothing But Bet keeps unfolding, the feds are now zeroing in on LeBron's biggest strength and maybe his biggest weakness. Federal analysts are digging deep into how his unshakable loyalty to old friends like Damon Jones and certain entertainment contacts from his earlier days might have unknowingly created secret pipelines for confidential info to leak beyond team walls. Several of LeBron's former teammates have stepped forward saying he'd been quietly warned for years about the kind of company he was keeping. Coaches, security staff, even some NBA officials had apparently dropped subtle hints telling him to distance himself from a few individuals whose financial moves were raising eyebrows. Those warnings, insiders say, were always heard but rarely acted on. LeBron listened, nodded, and went right back to protecting his people. Because for him, loyalty wasn't just a trait, it was law. It's what he built his entire empire on.
Great father, great husband, great philanthropist, great businessman, great director, great producer, great host, great basketball player, great leader. I mean, my God, I have done everything but put diapers and a bib on this brother. But it ain't enough, because one thing matters to him and one thing only, and that's him being recognized as the greatest of all times. Well, you're not, in my book.
Trust wasn't optional, it was his foundation. But that same conviction might have blinded him to the opportunists who saw his kindness and loyalty as a golden ticket to personal profit. Psychologists who study celebrity culture say that fame at LeBron's level can totally distort the line between friendship and dependence. When your whole world is built around you, the people closest to you become both your shield and your exposure. And that's exactly what investigators are starting to see. Experts in celebrity behavior explain that megastars under intense public pressure often build tight inner circles, echo chambers where criticism gets filtered out and tough opinions get softened. In those circles, trust turns into currency and betrayal becomes unthinkable until it happens. And that's what the FBI seems to be chasing now. They're studying communication logs between LeBron and his long-term associates, trying to piece together how fragile that tight-knit loyalty structure might have become under pressure. As the probe digs deeper, sources close to the investigation believe loyalty might actually be the thread tying everything together. The betting ring, the entertainment accounts, and even the introductions that connected LeBron to Diddy's social world, they may all stem from that same unbreakable loyalty code.
Now we've done 3 others where we've laid out the prosecution case. This time, we're talking specifically, what is Diddy's defense? And we decided to test it with a mock jury, and it is fascinating.
It is absolutely fascinating, keeping in mind that the real jury will be sitting down to do this. The trial starts first.
To those investigating, this isn't a story about greed or corruption. It's about a man who refused to turn his back on the people who helped him rise, even when those people may have dragged him into a mess he never saw coming. That human flaw, amplified by fame and trust, might explain why FBI agents are now sifting through the private files of one of the most disciplined athletes on earth. Because for LeBron James, loyalty isn't just a virtue. It's the key that unlocked his empire, and maybe the door to his downfall. The narrative has completely shifted from sports to secrecy. For decades, LeBron stood as the model of self-control, the man who never slipped, never stumbled, never broke discipline. But now, that image is being tested like never before. Analysts have started pointing out that his recent decision to pull out of several high-profile charity appearances might not be coincidence. It could be a sign of damage control behind the scenes. One Los Angeles PR executive even spilled that when a brand as spotless as LeBron suddenly goes silent, it's usually because the lawyers have grabbed the mic. Meanwhile, online speculation is going crazy. Conspiracy threads are blowing up across social media. Some fans claiming Operation Nothing But Betting Diddy's prosecution might overlap through a web of hidden financial routes, offshore accounts, shell charities, entertainment companies, and luxury event planners that keep reappearing in both investigations. The deeper it gets, the clearer it becomes. This isn't just a basketball scandal anymore. It's a maze of money, loyalty, and legacy colliding in plain sight. And at the center of it all stands LeBron James, the man who built his world on trust and now might lose it all because of it. Billed as fundraisers, investigators haven't confirmed any real overlap yet. But every newly unsealed document throws more gasoline on the fire. Social media is going crazy. Users are lining up flight logs, old photos, and timestamps, pointing out how LeBron seemed to be in the same cities where Diddy's controversial events allegedly took place. Even coincidences, like matching travel dates, have turned into digital currency in this non-stop trial by rumor. And through all of it, LeBron stays completely silent. No interviews, no statements, no Instagram posts, nothing. That calm, which once made him look wise and in control, now feels calculated. You can almost feel the pressure building in every pause. Every day he doesn't speak. The longer he holds back, the louder the questions get. What did he really know about those parties? Were the same financial handlers who managed Damon Jones's wagers also the ones pulling strings behind Diddy's private events? Is LeBron just guilty by association, or is this scandal touching something even deeper? A tangled web of money, power, and loyalty linking the worlds of sports and entertainment? For years, LeBron James has built an empire on discipline and image control, from endorsement deals worth millions to film productions, charity work, and family-centered branding. His reputation has always been spotless. But now, that carefully crafted legacy is being tested like never before, under the weight of federal subpoenas and rumors spilling from Diddy's fallen circle. People are starting to wonder, is this a case of loyalty gone too far? Or are we witnessing the first signs of something way bigger, a cover-up that could shake the entire culture of celebrity power? One thing's for sure, this storm isn't slowing down. And if the truth ever comes out, it could completely rewrite the story of modern fame itself. So what do you think is really hiding behind LeBron's silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, because this story is nowhere near finished. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one.